So I'm just popping on here to make this quick video. I'm driving home from the office now. I'm completely focused on the road, so no need to worry. But I figured I'd pop on and just get a couple things off of my mind. It's coming towards the end of the year, and I'm seeing a lot of content around change and setting goals and not waiting to the new year till you achieve your goals and things like that. And I want to make this video mostly as a note to self. And if it helps somebody else, I'd be super happy about that also. But my thoughts on change are very simple. I think when you look at the content that's being put out today and what people talk about changing your life and things like that, the only times I've been able to create change in my life, there's been a couple distinct variables. And it's funny because I've been thinking about this, you know, how to create change and how to create results. And the main thing I've been thinking about is, what are the times in my life that I've been able to do that and what has been constant throughout those times. So there's really only a couple of key things, and I'm going to run through them real quick. The first thing that I think that you need to implement, or I need to implement when I want to make change, number one is making a decision, right? And I know that sounds super simple, but let's talk about what making a decision means. So, number one, what is a decision? A decision, if you look up the definition, just means that it is a route where all other options are cut off. So basically, you give yourself no option but to change. And in this case, we'll talk about what change means, was basically, creating and setting new standards, which is the next point. But staying on the topic of a decision is when you are leaving yourself no other option but one, right? And then what are we making a decision about, right? I think most change is fueled by how we see ourselves, and mostly fueled by negative emotion about a certain situation. So most people decide, for example, to lose weight when they see themselves overweight. Most people decide to work on their finances when they see themselves lacking in that area as well. So negative emotion can be super useful as a guide and as a tool. But the problem today is we have so much bullshit around us that we're using to cope, right? We got phones, we got food, we got drugs, we got party, we got gossip, we got social media, and it's just so easy to take evasive action when it comes to this negative emotion that we're experiencing. When it's negative emotion is meant to be used as a guide. See, it's something that, when we're thinking about life and what makes life great is that it is a spectrum, right? It's binary, right? There is no gray area when it comes to how, good a day, a week, a year, how good things can be. The bad makes the good, if that makes sense, right? So when we're making a decision about how and what to change, it's usually going to come from our problems. And our problems, we can, I'm sure you can list off a bunch of your problems right now, right? And your problems are amazing. They're opportunities for growth. They're opportunities for us to create into, right? They're not meant to be avoided. Problems are a guide if you let them, right? So quick examples about making a decision. So making a decision can be, financially, health-wise. There's tons of things that you can make a decision to change today, but nothing's going to happen until you make that decision. That's quite literally the first step. And then the following steps come, from that first step. So if you're making a decision to change your health, you're probably going to say, okay, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. That's the decision I'm making today. Then you're probably going to say, what can I do to do this? Hire a trainer, look up a workout plan, sign up for a gym. These are just simple examples, but they all hold true, right? And then the second variable that has held constant for me whenever I've created outcomes or decided to make a change in my circumstances is setting new standards. Now, I'm sure you've heard this a bunch of times, right? Like, I have standards, I have high standards. You know, people say that all the time when it comes to what they will and won't accept from other people. But for me, standards are very personal, dude. I mean, they start as personal. How you treat yourself and what you're willing to accept from yourself is pretty much the only thing that you can control for the most part. 100% is what you do. You know, you can't even control how you're going to feel. You can't even control what you're going to think. Sometimes your thoughts, they're just, produced automatically. They're not even yours. So really all we have is, what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, which is just the quality of your attitude, quality of your action. So setting standards for me is just very simple. It's what I'm willing to accept from myself as far as actions. Nothing changes until these two things change, is making a decision and following through with setting standards. And I'll leave you with this, right? A lot of people talk about, positive visualization and, thinking about where you want to be. I encourage you to think about how bad things can get if you decide not to change, right? Because a decision to change, the opposite of a decision to change is a decision not to change. And every second that we don't have standards in a certain area of our lives, that is a decision, dude. Every day that you wake up fat, every day that you wake up broke is a decision. You're not stuck in that situation. At least it's useful to think about it that way. Yeah, you might have extenuating circumstances that other people don't. Yeah, I'll give that to a lot of you. But the moment you decide that it is a decision, the moment you have the power. And the moment you have the power, the moment you give yourself permission to change. So I'll just leave you with that thought. Just wanted to jump on here and share this message really as a note to self, but I hope it helps someone else too.